Hello, and welcome to my course reflection video. Throughout the past couple of months, I have learned a lot about technology and using different forms of it in education, and more importantly, a classroom setting. In this video, I want to talk about two specific topics that I firstly found not just interesting, but topics that I found myself talking about outside of this course. These topics, education perspective and learning theories, and 21st century learning and teaching really stood out to me the most, and even before making this presentation, I knew I wanted to talk about. To start it off, I'm going to be talking about educational perspective / learning theories. One of the first things we were taught about was the learning process. Now, the learning process isn't a specific science. Teachers to this day are evolving their teaching methods and the ways they teach so they can effectively get information to their students. What I have learned is not every student learns the same way. Some students can learn from just listening to a professor talk, but a lot of times this is not the case. For example, I know a lot of my fellow classmates can only learn by seeing a visual of whatever it is they're learning. I personally need to read whatever it is I'm learning 6 times before I actually grasp it. The learning process is different for every person. For one of our readings, we analyzed a journal by Cemalettin Ayas called An Examination of the Relationship Between the Integration of Technology into Social Studies and Constructivist Pedagogies. And in this journal, it talked about 2 ways knowledge is constructed. One being that knowledge is developed through one's own experience, and the other suggests that knowledge is developed through interactions with other people. To quote Ayas, according to Piaget, cognitive constructivism is a system of explanations of how learners, as individuals, adapt and refine knowledge. Piaget thus advocates that knowledge is constructed in the mind of the individual. Unlike Piaget, Vygotsky's social constructivism suggests that knowledge is not solely constructed within the mind of the individual. Rather, interactions within a social context involve learners in sharing, constructing, and reconstructing their ideas and beliefs. Therefore, social interactions provide the necessary language skills and understandings of cultural norms that facilitate learning through the use of tools available. In this case, I believe both these ideas are correct. Everyone learns in a different way. Some people learn better using real-life experience, and others learn better through social interactions. It is important teachers understand this concept that knowledge can be developed in different ways and integrate this in the classroom. One of the ways teachers can do this is through technology. Technology, as we have learned throughout this course, has been a viable resource that many teachers and students use to educate one another. Looking back at one of our discussions, we learned and discussed partnership for 21st century skills. Educators striving to bring this into the classrooms is a very intelligent thing to do. Technology is integrated into our everyday lives, so it only makes sense to bring it into a classroom. I think it is important that K-12 and literary instructions includes technology in its curriculum. It not only helps teachers stay up to date on current information, but also allows students to research and engage more with the topic they are learning. To conclude, this course has taught me a lot about technology education. It opens my eyes to the fact that if I ever pursue a degree in education, technology is a key part in educating my students. This course has taught me a lot, and I'm excited to use the information in the real world.